he goes crazy.
Yeah.
Now, I gotta nitpick just a tiny bit.
Mm-hmm.
Ellie calling for Pitocin. That's an inducement drug.
Oh, yeah?
She was already in labor. Her contractions were 10 minutes apart. She was right on schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't need that.
Yeah, that was a little oopsie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I have 10 nieces and nephews, 9 of whom were delivered with no painkillers. So
Mm-hmm.
there's a little gripe for me anyway. But really, Pitocin? No.
Yeah.
Call for an epidural. You know, you're going to do anything.
Yeah, I'm sure it was just a research oopsie.
Yeah. That was just that tiny niggling thing out of a really good episode that just sticks in your brain because it's like the only thing that's wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we got baby Clara.
Yeah.
And Mama B got to be in the room.
Oh, which was
love
awesome.
That.
And when the nurse came out and said, "Are you family?" and everybody, even Casey and Sarah, said yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Holy tug at the heartstrings at the end.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of got teary-eyed when they all, made her go in, made Mama B go in.
Yeah. And it was just such a perfect moment with, I mean, Mama B was there. Like, this is the person that Ellie has just dreamed of having in her life for so long. Morgan and Casey and Alex are having, I mean, they're coming together, all of them, the 3 of them, in such an amazing way. And it's really cool to see, actually. Like, Casey's this guy who was just an island in the beginning of the series. And Morgan is, more than anybody else, he looks up to him so much. Like, the little comments that he makes about how there's nobody stronger than this guy and all that kind of thing. And I mean, Casey hears that stuff, and Alex hears that stuff. And it's such a neat mix to see how he loves Casey so much that it's helping him win Alex.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if Morgan's helping Alex discover her dad in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it is a funny thing because initially you'd think Morgan is the guy that Casey would least want his daughter to be with, but then we're seeing more and more and more how he's actually a great guy to bring everybody together.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Was Morgan's evolution just in this season alone? Mm-hmm. Since he, fell into Chuck's spy world, I don't know. I'm just really impressed, and he's become a character that is my favorite on the show. Whereas in the beginning, he was just so annoying. In fact, I've said it before on these podcasts that he annoyed the heck out of me. But I love him. I love when he comes through for the team with his bits of, little bits of wisdom that, you just sit there and go, wow, did that come out of Morgan?
Yeah. I think between being part of Chuck's spy world and Alex, I think between those 2 things, he's really had a reason to mature finally. Mm-hmm. He's been drifting for so long and kind of stuck in the past, and now he has a reason. He has somebody to look up to. I mean, he's got his best friend, but he also has Casey. Mm-hmm. He sees Chuck being settled in this relationship with Sarah, more or less now for sure. And I think it's just given him kind of a kick in the pants he's needed to man up.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it's neat to see how, in his fun way, he is actually growing in his spy skills too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the fact that as he's maturing, his friendship with Chuck didn't take that fork in the road that might have happened that I thought was going to happen. I thought that Chuck would go way up here and leave Morgan behind, and Morgan would be stuck back with Jeffster.
Yeah.
So
that's true. They had to bring Morgan along so that he could be Chuck's friend still. That's a good point.
Yeah.
And I like the way they did it. So.
Well, and it was neat. It was neat that Chuck obviously had the army right there, and yet Morgan was the guy who was operating the computer and putting the things together and making it happen. So I don't know when we're ever going to hear General Beckman actually admit that Morgan is of value, but maybe it's coming.
Yeah. I mean, she finally admitted that Chuck and Sarah were a good team, so their feelings for each other were positive.
Yeah. Well, and they did just take down Volkov.
Yeah. Who is not dead.
Yeah.
Yay! I'm so glad they did not kill him off.
Yeah.
I am too.
Well, and I love about him as a villain that more than any other villain that I remember seeing in a long time, where he just doesn't do what you would expect. Like even just in the really delightful reactions he has in a room, like when he doesn't kill Mama Bartowski because he wants her to see this whatever. It's like it's evil, but it's sort of in it with a twist on it. Yeah. Which is so neat.
He's standing there giving orders while eating an ice cream cone.
Yeah. or killing his guy because he laid a hand on the person who just betrayed him.
On his Frost.
Yeah.
That really caught me. My Frost.
Yes. And when they're doing that video chat on the phone, he just Frosted to me. She's like, I can see you. Oh, wow. The things she's had to put up with for 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she didn't die, and neither did he. So I'm really excited because I was really worried that they would kill her off, and I'm totally loving her, Linda Hamilton, in this role. I adore her in this role.
Which makes you wonder where they're going to go for the next 11.
I do wonder that.
Well, maybe we should head to spoilers then.
Maybe we should.
Yeah, I guess we've talked about pretty much everything. That proposal we covered in the end. We covered Clara.
Sarah got to throw a knife finally.
Yeah. And the preview for next week, I guess we can cover in the spoiler section. We usually talk about that here, but might as well. Let's support people's right to be spoiler free.
Okay.
And I do want to apologize. I did call for people's comments, and just because of some scheduling issues, we're gonna have to leave the comments out for this time. But please do send your comments in, your suggestions, your comments about the episodes, both Chuck episodes, and also thoughts for where you think things are heading and all kinds of stuff like that. Send them in.
Yeah.
But first, we got to thank our sponsors.
And now we want to thank our sponsors, IELabs.com, makers of award-winning Action Blue AVC HD conversion software, which authors full HD videos on regular DVD discs. It even works with HD clips from the newest iPhone 4. You can get your free trial of the software at IELabs.com. We also want to thank MovieMorons.com for supporting Chuck versus the podcast. Movie Morons is a podcast all about film. So if you are inclined to find out what movies you should be watching this fall, check out MovieMorons.com. And SyrianJunkies.de. We want to thank them for supporting us as well.
Hello, this is Christina Caramel from Serienjunkies TV. Are you addicted to TV shows? Be our guests and learn the latest news and reflections on what's going on in the world of TV series. Well, our show is in German, but maybe you want to drop in anyway? Then visit www.serienjunkies.de and watch out for our video podcast. See you.
And we're back. And so this is the point in the episode where we start to wrap things up. One little plug that I wanted to make is I just got word actually from a Chuck fan who heard it from Adam Baldwin, who is not Canadian, but somehow he tweeted that the internet rules are changing in Canada in a couple of weeks, and internet fees are going way up to the tune of my rough estimate is that it's going to cost about $500 more per year to run the podcasts. So
holy cow.
Yeah, like hugely up. Basically anything more than 25 gigs of bandwidth usage per month, they bill you something like $2 per gig, which if you know tech terms is a lot.
Yeah.
And
Time
so
to start hosting in the US, Greg.
Yeah. Well, it's not just hosting, like all the uploading and when we do the podcast recording and that kind of thing. So I do want to remind you that there are lots of ways that you can support the podcast. You can, whenever you buy things at Amazon.com, just start with chuckpodcast.com, and there's links that can take you to the full Amazon.com site or Amazon.ca, and the purchases that you make can give a little kickback to us. Watch the podcast on blip.tv, chuckpodcast.blip.tv, or else in the web browsers at chucktv.net or other places. And also donations are, you don't know how much donations help. They help tremendously. Even a tiny donation goes a long way. And also, hey, if you want to sponsor the podcast, if you have a product to advertise, we'd love to have your support. It will help to cover this really bizarre fee. Gives me another reason to move to the States, which I am definitely planning on doing. So that's the plug. If you want to find out all the ways you can support, just go to chuckpodcast.com, and there's a link to find out all the ways that you can support the podcast, and we do appreciate it.
That's right. And remember, if you have any questions or comments to share, please email us at mail@chuckpodcast.com. Be sure to join us on chucktv.net on Monday, February 7th, for the live chat during the next new episode. We have lots of fun in there.
And make sure you do watch Chuck live, even though we did blame the weather this week. It would be a real shame if we had low ratings next week. So do watch Chuck live Monday night at 8. And now we have the point in the podcast where we talk about spoilers, so you can pull your headphones out. And I actually don't want to hear spoilers. I had my experience this week with spoilers where Josh Schwartz spoiled just a little my enjoyment of the episode. So I'm going to take my own headphones out, and I'm not going to do the spoiler section this time. So I'm going to say bye-bye. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Barry.
See you next week.
What a goober. All right, so we have the official synopsis for Chuck episode 414, Chuck versus the Seduction Impossible, which airs Monday, February 7th. The team jets to Morocco to save one of their own. John Larroquette returns as Roan Montgomery. Linda Hamilton and McKenna Melvin also guest star. In need of an exciting new mission, Chuck, Sarah, and Casey are sent to Morocco to rescue Roan Montgomery. Meanwhile, Chuck and Sarah are at odds over their future plans, and back home, Morgan prepares to meet Alex's mom as Mary bonds with her family. Sarah Lancaster, Ryan McPartland, and Benita Federici also star. Mm-hmm. And if you saw the preview after this week's episode, there's also that very funny moment where they're spying on, I guess, the mission in Morocco with the belly dancers, and Sarah says, I just want to make one thing clear. I will, at no point during this mission will I be wearing a belly dancing costume. And then they cut to her wearing a belly dancing costume for Chuck. So I think she's wearing it in private and not as part of the mission. So
yeah,
the point stands.
Yeah. Yeah, the old